G'day footy fans and welcome to Boothy's AFL Dream Team Fantasy Podcast. Today I'm amending my trades from round 1 on the back of the news that Armitage has a groin issue. Which explains why Armitage only got 60 points last game in round 1, because I expected him to get at least 90 this year per round and he didn't do that, so he's out. So I'm sticking with my defensive structure for those that saw my podcast from yesterday or the day before, and that was Zach Jones on 96 into D5. And Otten slips down to emergency, and of course Hampton goes down to D6. Hibberd is there but might get dropped by North Melbourne after his 24-point performance. We'll see what happens there, but he's still at my D8. Now I've basically got rid of Smith, who of course is injured and out for 4 months from Melbourne, and of course that cost me a fair bit of money, $202,000 to be exact. So as a consequence of that, Armitage comes out, as you can see down there at M6, and McGrath comes into that position. And I've got a few dollars left over after all of that as well. Now, McGrath is a dual position player, so in other words, he's picked in the midfield for me on this particular occasion, but he can also swing into defence, provided I trade him with one of my players who's a mid-defender in defence at the moment, which is Lloyd, and also Hibberd. So I could swap them around, which gives me great versatility down the track, which is really good to have that flexibility. Now, the other thing I've done there is I've mentioned that, where are we? So we're just looking here. Treloar, that's it. Treloar is vice-captain for me because Collingwood plays Richmond tomorrow night in the partial lockout phase. Now, Treloar's vice-captain. What that means is if Treloar can get 130, maybe the high 120s, I'll have to think about it, but at least 125, preferably 130, then if he does that, what I'll do is I'll change Dangerfield from being my captain, who got a serviceable 118 last week. But if Treloar can get high 120s, 130, then Dangerfield will not be captain. I'll change it on Friday before the full lockout Friday night, and I'll make my captain basically Hunter, who is my ruck 4 at the moment. So Hunter will basically become my ruck on the field, and then I'll put Martin on the emergency position in ruck, and he will basically play for Hunter because Hunter will not be picked by Adelaide. There's no way. O'Brien's ahead of him and Hunter obviously won't be picked. So I'll say that again. If Treloar gets 125 or 130 or more, what I'll do is I'll put Martin emergency in my ruck there. As you can see, he's R1 at the moment. Hunter goes into R1 with the captain next to him. So Hunter becomes the captain and Martin becomes the emergency in the ruck. Hunter will not play. Martin will then, I'll get his score as the emergency in the ruck, and of course I'll then get Treloar's vice-captain score, which will be doubled to become captain. Now I'm only going to do this if he gets 125 or 30 Treloar, and the advantage of that is if I do that and then Dangerfield got injured, for example, then I would still have a really solid score, obviously, if I know that Treloar's got that score. So that's what I'm doing for this round. The other thing I wanted to mention in this podcast was that Grundy becomes a very worthwhile and attractive ruckman for this round, probably the most attractive ruckman, and he's a $603,000 ruckman now after being $609 for round 1. He went down by $6. The reason he's so good now is that they've dropped Cox. The news just came in that Mason Cox has dropped, and when Cox doesn't play, Grundy scores 110 as an average, and when Cox does play, he only averages 90. And last week, of course, he began with a score in the 90s. So if you want to get rid of Gawn because you're worried about his back issue and the fact that he's having a test coming up, and you've got no other trades to make and you're keen to get rid of Gawn, then obviously Grundy's your man. But I'm not suggesting getting rid of Gawn. I think you can hang on to him because he could be an absolute, he could get 140. But basically make sure that Bruce is your emergency, of course, if Gawn's in your ruck. But if you do get rid of Gawn, then Grundy's your man, as I say, with Cox being dropped. So good luck for this week. Let me know how you go. Make comments. Please enjoy. And I'd love to hear your scores. Hopefully you got over 2,000. And the leader, as I said there, is only 2373. So as long as you're within 500 of the leader, you're still a chance. Good luck. And I hope it goes really well. Bye for now.